Hey, welcome to Sisters Unfiltered.
Hey guys.
Lindsey and Ashley here. I'm dressed like it's winter, but it's not.
I have dirty hair, don't care. So it's in the bun.
Dirty hair, don't care. Got my hoodie on. Yeah. But really it's hot outside. So I don't know why I'm dressed like I just threw this on like really quick. Yeah. So it's all right.
It's summer in Austin already.
It's summer.
Don't worry.
For sure. Except for it's summer with a lot of pollen falling from every dang tree.
There's pollen everywhere.
It's bad.
It's
Actually,
worse this year than I ever
what
remember
Derek
it.
said.
Yeah.
Derek said it's worse than he ever remembers it because our pool is green currently from the pollen. It's not,
you can tell.
It's
all
treated.
Cars
it's
are
just,
covered in pollen.
Our whole back porch is yellow.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to clean it because it is just still falling.
Yeah.
Like we clean out our pool literally an hour later.
I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow and maybe Saturday. And if it actually does, that's so good because it'll get rid of it.
It's oak.
It's oak.
It's actually supposed to storm, which I actually hope that like blows all the pollen off the tree.
Me too.
Not just rain. I hope it blows all the pollen away and just gets it done because I want to clean my back porch. It drives me nuts, but I'm literally like, it's a waste of my time.
Also, Ella's like high on allergy meds. Like literally we're doing everything. And she also has like hydrocortisone and Benadryl gel because she's like itching all over. I mean, it's bad.
This is like the one thing I'm not allergic to, and I am so glad. Now, I might not be allergic to it, but that does not mean I'm about to go outside and try to clean that up because I feel like it will stir it. I feel like there's pollen and then under it is cedar.
I know, right?
And I just don't know.
It starts to get away from you. It's hard to reel it in. Like once you kind of have an allergy attack, kind of.
It is, and it gets all in your system, and it's almost like I feel like it gets in your sinuses. I'm assuming, and then you just can't flush them out.
Yeah, because if you shower and wash your hair and all that, which is what they say to do, it's like you still just have it up your nose, in your throat.
It's everywhere.
It is.
I bet you $10 your whole lungs are yellow.
Exactly.
Like for sure. So anyways, before we keep going, just don't forget to comment, like, thumbs up, give us a review. Actually, that would be honestly for any of you faithful listeners, or if you just like us a lot, we would love a really good positive review. We never really asked that of you guys.
I forget about it.
I know, but I do think that it helps.
Yeah.
It helps if anybody on the random decides to look at our podcast and just see what people's reviews are. And so we would love a review if possible. Again, we're not trying to make it big. I was telling Derek something funny the other day. I said, we were talking about, we were listening to a podcast. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, and they had a commercial. And I said, you know what? I said, this is why we don't have commercials in our podcast. I said, because I don't want to make people sit and listen to this. There's people knocking down our doors trying to advertise through us. But we're saying no for the sake of our listeners.
Yes.
Which is a joke. But in all seriousness, I was like, I don't really, the whole commercial thing is just funny.
I like the podcasts that do all their commercials on the front end and it doesn't interrupt you.
And then you can fast forward.
Or it doesn't interrupt you during the podcast.
Yes. Yeah. I do agree with that because but do you know how many of those I listen to? Zero. I'm like 15 seconds. I just fast forward until I get there. But anyway, so all that to say, Lisa, leave us a review, whatever.
That'd be great.
You can do would be wonderful. I feel like we say this, but we really had such a overwhelmingly great response to our episode about our parenting fails. And I don't know what it was, but we were told we were unhinged.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that a great response? I don't know. But
yeah, is that cool or not?
I don't know if that's good or not. But people thought it was very funny, and I think they could relate. And there was quite a few people that were in our lives at that point that knew some of these stories.
We took them back in time.
So
what did our friend say today? Someone texted us today about the massages.
Oh, they just told us where to go in Lakeway.
Okay.
Because I said, if anyone knows of a kind of sketch looking
I haven't even read the text. I just thought it was about a massage.
Let us know. How crazy is this? That's the second person. Someone told me at church on Sunday, the same place.
Okay.
So now guess what?
Right.
I'm thinking that I want to try it out.
Maybe we need to do a field trip. Do you think we do a live?
Oh my gosh, we should do, can we record getting a foot massage together?
Yes.
A couple's foot massage.
How it goes. How late do they stay open?
That's true. Yeah. And she said, our friend said, I was a blubbering mess when I left because I went like midway through the day. Yeah. But anyway, so now we know of a place in Lakeway.
Good to know.
Should we say the name?
I don't know.
Maybe let's go figure it out first. Let's go see first.
Test
Although I do trust this person.
I do too. So I highly trust
this person. So we'll let you know. But But yeah, so I'm glad. We really appreciate any response we get. Like truly, like from the deepest of our hearts. Like it just makes us happy to know people have listened or think something's funny or encouraging. So, but yeah.
Today's kind of a part 2.
Yeah.
Not really, but could be.
Yeah.
Depends on how much you know about Enneagram.
Yeah.
So last episode we had my husband Jeremy on to kind of talk about Enneagram, and it was great. It was very informational though. So like if you didn't know anything about Enneagram, I think it was like perfect for you to hear and understand. And then this week we wanted to elaborate just a little bit more. It's just Lindsey and I, but about Enneagram and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah. I think that like the episode with Jeremy was awesome because it's like you said, it was so much information, but you know, our normal sarcasm didn't come through that episode because it was one of those episodes that I feel like is the perfect, if you don't know about Enneagram, but you don't want to go and look and find like, you don't want to read a whole book about it.
Right.
That episode is perfect.
Yes.
If you know anyone who's like, I've never heard of that. Truly, that episode is so good because Jeremy goes through every number, explains what it is, and it's short though. It's 1 hour, and you really can leave feeling like you had a good enough, understanding.
Yes.
Now, to further it, you would need to go take your own Enneagram test, whatever. But I loved it. But I felt like our listeners would maybe want to hear some personal stories. We gave some. We did.
We told a funny one about our dad.
Yeah. But I think they would continuing. I would almost say it's a continuation from the episode. Would like to hear some maybe funny
real life
Enneagram scenarios.
Right. Got it. Yes.
That we've experienced with our family.
Yes. So we did this thing, and we should have done this maybe on Life Hacks because I feel like it was brilliant. We sent out a form.
Oh, which Life Hacks, by the way, is coming after this episode.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Spoiler alert.
Guess what? Maybe we should add that in for next time.
Spoiler.
Okay, I get so confused. Anyway, so, but we did a Google form that we sent out to everybody in our family. So there's 24 people now. Shep's a baby, but he's the 24th. 23 people, a Google form, and it was like, what's your favorite candy? What's your favorite restaurant? Your favorite brand? Your favorite scent? What Enneagram number are you?
If anybody would surprise you with something, what would you want it to be?
Yes.
Right?
So, you say that? Yeah. So there was like all these things, and I just always want that information for gifts or when you're considering something because you can't keep up with 23 people.
No.
And everything. And as we add people on, so we had this Google form. I've gone back to it a couple times. I have no idea if anyone else has ever used it.
Our kids were very confused. They were like, "Are we doing a game?"
Yes. Yeah.
They're like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. So then I sent out the results to the family. Anyway, so everyone filled it out. It's great. I'm sorry. I came up with the idea. I feel like it was great.
It was a great idea.
Anyway, so we actually are like, what's your Enneagram number? We know all of them, but like that's how much we talk about it in our family.
Yeah.
Like just to prove a point.
For sure.
And
we're like, oh yes, that person's an Enneagram 2 or an Enneagram 7 or whatever. That's the reason why they did X, Y, and Z.
Exactly. So I don't know where you want to start. I mean, I was thinking about how like our mom was an Enneagram 1, which what do you have? What's your description for an Enneagram 1?
Okay.
I always think perfectionist.
Yes, for sure. Rule follower.
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on 1 second. Let me find my ChatGPT. Okay. Enneagram 1, type 1, the reformer, principled and self-controlled. They strive to be good, right, and improve the world around them.
Yes, and that is very true. My mom always made everything better, is what we say. But very much a 1 growing up. Our house was never dirty.
No.
Never messy.
No.
Our hair was always perfectly fixed.
Yeah.
From, the time we were little.
Yeah.
Everything. Just very, very orderly.
She was very organized.
And
wanted everything to be perfect.
Yes, she could not.
But not so much that we couldn't live in the house, which I've said that before. It never felt like we weren't at home because I think sometimes when you think of people like that, you're like, ooh, their house was so stiff. It wasn't like that, but for sure we knew.
Yeah. And like she couldn't really relax unless the dishes were finished in the sink, like that kind of thing.
She had a lot of years of dark circles under her eyes.
We used to say that she would get more done between the hours of 4 a.m. and like 9 a.m. than we would in an entire day. Yeah. Like she could run circles around us. Now, and that might not have anything to do with her Enneagram number, but for sure had more energy and got more done.
She did.
Than I ever thought about.
And I do think, I'm serious when I say we have so many pictures of her with dark circles in her eyes. And I'm always like, it's because you never could relax because everything had to be so right.
Yes. And like Wade and Lindsey and I would laugh, like a normal thing would hear the vacuum cleaner like early in the morning banging against your door.
Yeah, she didn't care that you were asleep.
She did not. Oh no, she didn't care.
She would also come and wake you up if you slept. Late to her was too late. Like it didn't matter. We never slept late.
No.
And she would open up our shutters, and she would, and you know, I mean, she wasn't being mean. It's just
but seriously, like she did make everything better. Like
she did
when it comes to your home, when it came to hospitality, when it came to an
hosting
event or hosting, like everything was better. And so Lindsey and I laugh because, well, Lindsey thought she was an Enneagram 1 when she first tested. But I think that she was trying to test like what our mom was like.
Yeah, for sure. And I need to, actually told Derek I probably should retake the test.
Yeah.
Because I am not an Enneagram 1, not in any way.
So I have a wing. So there's wings on numbers. We didn't talk about that last time, but they're kind of like a leaning, like you're going to lean to the number that, one of the numbers that's around you, right? So I'm a 9, so I'll lean to a 1, not an 8, if that makes sense. So I'm going to lean more towards a 1. Now, what I say is that any kind of the Enneagram 1 that's in me was definitely nurture from mom, not nature. So it wasn't like natural for me to be an Enneagram 1 or to have those tendencies. It's very much nurture because from the time we were born, we had a very, like, mom was almost like a pure 1.
Oh,
I'm not sure she had a wing. She probably did have a wing too, I would say, which is a servant
helper.
Was she a helper? Yeah, well, she helped us a lot.
Oh, that's true.
You know,
so she was definitely not an enabler.
No. But I think she was like, her test was like she was a high 1, like just.
Well, some people can be like all one number and really not lean one way or the other. And that's another reason why I know I'm not a 1, because I for sure am not a 2 or a 9.
Yeah.
1000% do not fall in either one of those categories, which proves my point even more.
So our mom was definitely that, and my brother is actually much more like that.
Very much so.
What other ones do we have in our family? Ella is probably a 1. I don't know yet. She's 15.
I would say that makes
a
good point. Ella's probably 1.
Harley.
You said Harley's a 1.
Our niece Harley's a 1.
Do we have any other ones? I don't know. My two youngest girls have not tested.
Yeah, Ella hasn't either. I'm totally guessing.
Yeah. I don't know I don't know yet what my girls will be. Ava May and Abby Kate.
Yeah.
Derek probably could have a better definition of, or a better idea of what they would probably be.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we have any other ones.
I don't think we do. I think those are the only
What
ones.
is Eden?
A 2.
Oh, Eden's a 2. Okay.
Yes.
And so Dad's a 5.
Yes.
Which we talked about that in the last episode.
We told a funny story about they don't really like you in their business. They don't want you to know their business.
No, but they know other people's business. But they don't
love
tell
information.
They love information, but they're not going to divulge that information to anyone else unless you ask. And so it's like they're full of all this wisdom and knowledge and information, but sometimes they're not going to tell you that.
Yeah. I think it's so funny. Jax is a 5, which is Wade's son or our nephew. And then I don't know if Grayson's a 5 with a 6 wing or a 6 with a 5 wing. We kind of go back and forth with that. But Wade tells a funny story about Jax where he said that when they turned 18, he like sits down his kids and he's like, hey, I can take you off of Life 360. You can have your own bank account, like where I don't have access to it, kind of like giving them independence. He said it didn't take Jack 2 seconds to get off everything.
That's hilarious.
And he was like, okay, bye.
That is so Jax.
But Jax was like, okay, we're done.
He's like, I didn't like all my business anyway.
Exactly. And that is very much a 5.
Oh, for sure. That is so a 5.
Yes. Also, like my dad and probably Jax and maybe even Grayson they know so much, like they're listening to everything.
Oh no,
that's what I'm saying. They're taking in all the information.
They take in everything,
and
but then they
people
don't
like to
offer
talk to
it.
them too.
They do, but they don't offer other people the information.
They don't, but then you'll find out later that they just know all these things.
I know.
And you're like, why didn't you say something?
I know, it's true. So the 5 is the investigator. Curious and analytical, they pursue knowledge and independence to feel capable and secure.
Yeah.
So why don't we do this? Let's just go down the whole family and say their Enneagram numbers.
Okay.
And then we can go back and say some stories.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah.
So mom was a 1.
Yeah.
Dad's a 5.
Yes.
So if you want understanding of how we grew up, everybody has thought Dad was really shy, but really he's very funny.
Yes.
And he's just quiet.
Well, and 5s are a little bit more introverted.
They are more introverted, but Dad has always been real funny and like had a great sense of humor and been fun to be around.
And people
but
love to talk to him.
Yeah, people love to talk to Dad. And he does. 5s carry themselves with a lot of wisdom.
Right. So
They
he's
do have
not just
wisdom.
going to like, so I think that's a good thing to say. 5s do have a ton of wisdom. They're very slow to speak. And when they do though,
people listen because they know.
That's right. Yes.
And so like my thing is that all the 5s I know, which is not like a ton necessarily, but I could see how all of them carry themselves with wisdom. Like you are drawn to go to them about serious subjects, really.
Yeah. They do pretty good in school because that makes sense. They really like information and enjoy learning and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
okay. So you have mom 1, dad 5.
Yes.
So then you have Ashley
a 9
as a 9.
Yes. Peacemaker.
Wade is a 3, which is the achiever.
Yeah.
And then I am an 8, which is the challenger.
Yes.
So let me just tell you, 3s and 8s butt heads.
That's why you have to have a 9 in there.
Wade and I always fought when we were younger, and we don't fight as much now, but we don't talk as much because we use the buffer 9s in between us.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we're great, like with family events and all that, but it is very much so like 5. Friend of mine, she's a 3, her husband's an 8. No, that's an 8 actually. No, that's what I was saying. Yeah. And I'm like, how are y'all married?
Yes.
Like, how is this even possible?
Yeah.
You
that
know?
seems like a lot.
Really a lot of conflict.
Yeah.
And so,
or could be.
They could be. Yeah. I think they've really figured out how to use their strengths together.
Yes.
And they work together.
Yeah.
They're married and they work together, which is even crazier.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Ashley's a 9, Wade is a 3, I'm an 8. All right, so we can go down kids.
My family?
Yeah, do your family first.
Okay, so Tyler is a 7. Which was the 7? What's the word for it?
The enthusiast.
The enthusiast. That is so true. We thought he was a 4.
And Tyler's married to Sammy, who is also a 7, which is shocking.
Yeah, so you have 2 7s that are married to each other.
But we do think their wings are different.
Yes, I do.
They are definitely different.
I think they're different.
Yeah, so that is helpful because I don't know how in the world a 7 with the same wing could be married to each other.
Yes.
Talking about fuel each other's fire. It'd be a disaster.
Yeah, they're really fun and exciting and love life, and it's fun.
Yeah.
So 7 and a 7. And then we have Blake, and Blake is a 2 with the 3
which
wing.
is the helper.
He's a helper. And then Sam is a 3, like
the
Wade.
achiever.
He's another 3. And then he's married to Eden, and Eden's a 2, who's a helper. And I think that's Wade and Kimberly's numbers as well. And then we have Grayson, who we think is a 5.
Has he tested?
With a 6 wing, yes. And that's what he tested as, but I could just see both in him. And then I think Ella's a 1, and she hasn't tested because she's about to be 15. We'll probably let her do it soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, she has a lot of 1 tendencies for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So Wade and Kimberly, we kind of talked about.
Wade's a 3.
Kimberly's a 2.
So there's the achiever and the helper.
Yeah, which achiever and a helper is kind of a dynamic duo. That would be like just like a president and his wife.
Well, that's what I say, a good combination, right?
Oh, they're a dynamic duo is what I mean. Like they're a powerful couple.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
great.
they really work.
Yeah. So if you're 3, go find a 2.
Yeah, exactly. Or 2, go find a 3.
Go find a 2. Yeah.
And then Jax is a 5. We mentioned that. Lawson, his brother, is a 9, which is like me. And then Harley is a 1. And then Lindsay's family.
Yeah. So I'm an 8. Derek is a 9. So Ashley and Jeremy's combination, just opposite flipped. On our, just flipped. Parker's a 7. Mike is an 8. And Anne Marie is a 9. Oh, that's funny. 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Never thought about it.
That is funny.
And then we don't know what Ava Mae and Abby Kate are.
So Anne Marie did test.
She's tested. Okay. Yeah, she's a 9, which is so not shocking at all.
No, it's not.
For sure.
And then what do you think Ava Mae and Abby Kate are?
I don't know. Like, I wondered if Ava Mae was a 4 at one point, but then she took like a personality test thing or like this thing at her school, and it made me laugh so hard because then I took it and me and her tested the same.
That's funny.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
And so like, again, is it a learned thing or is it who she is? But
or maybe she doesn't know yet.
Ava Mae is a very no nonsense kind of person.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think she's an 8. I do not think she's an 8.
No, I don't think she's
not
either.
an 8. But
I guess like maybe like
is,
she could be a 5.
She could be a 5
or 1, but she could be a 5 and have a 4 wing. If you see some of that in her.
Because she's very she told me the other night she went to a birthday party. There's 18 girls there, and she texted us. She was like, "Y'all can come get me." It was kind of early, and I was like, "Well, we can't right now." So we went and got her, and I was like, "Were y'all ready to go? Were you ready to go?" And she was like, "I just am not great in those big environments like that."
Oh, wow. That's pretty self-aware.
I know.
Or is she just uncomfortable? Or she's
no, she just said, I'm just not great in those big environments. I said, is it because you don't feel like you are loud or not loud. She said it. I'm just not extroverted like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily peg her as introverted, but she's not either extroverted.
Yeah.
So she could be a 5.
Yeah.
I could also see, I mean, she's pretty go-getter too, you know? So I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see. I really could.
She does like do good in school.
She's really good in school.
She seems like she does like
Things,
information. And
things
because
don't
if you
bother
said that
her.
about the 4, that's the reason I thought that too.
Yeah, you don't think she's a 3?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe a 5. That actually might be a really good thing to peg her with. And then Abby Kate is so much like me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if she could very well be an 8.
Yes.
I could see that. Yeah. But then there's that but even me, like a lot of Enneagram 8s are like, so strong and assertive, they value control, justice, protecting themselves and others. That is exactly Abby Kate.
Yes. Yeah.
But some 8 women are like boss ladies a lot, for and sure. I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I don't really see Abby Kate as being like a boss lady.
Yeah.
Like in the work world, I've never really had that desire.
Like
corporate work world. And so I don't really know, like, I don't fit that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if that's the description of an 8, 1000%, that's Abby Kate.
Do her and Micah like butt heads?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes. Yeah. Micah gets annoyed, but sometimes I'm like, maybe it's because she's a girl, but also Abby Kate has a big personality. For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was just wondering.
Mm-hmm. Not like terribly because they're so far apart in age.
Yeah.
But just enough. So, but yeah. So that would be 3 8s in our family if she is an 8.
Yeah.
That's a lot of one number.
What if you retest and you're a different number?
I would be shocked.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I would be besides a 1.
Yeah.
What else would I fall under? I do not think I'm a 6. And Derek does not. I know Wade thinks I'm a 6, but Derek does not think I'm a 6. So I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm an 8 and probably wing 7. I am for sure not a 9.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyways, okay. So there's all the numbers.
Yes. I think Wade has like this chart that he keeps up with that's like these little cartoon characters of us and what our numbers are in our wings in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so fun. I'd be curious to see, like, I didn't even know he had that until you told me today.
Yeah.
So, but so like so I think that like some of the more obvious numbers to me, at least when the kids were younger, maybe I'm crazy on this, is a 7. I feel like because it's so different than all of us.
Like, what do you mean?
Like Tyler, now that I know what the Enneagram is, I could have pegged him as being a 7 when he was elementary school.
Right. Yes.
And maybe that's because we are not a family of 7s.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're like a very creative family,
yeah,
you would feel like an obvious number would be like a 1.
So we have
8.
Sammy, Tyler, and Parker.
Yes.
Right? They're all 7s.
Yes. Yeah. And to me, especially Parker and Tyler just growing up, like it's like I could peg it because of.
Yeah. If you have a kid that is like very positive all the time about everything and like the world could be crashing down around them.
Yes.
And they're going to be positive about it.
We have so many
they're probably a
of
7.
Tyler. Like when Tyler's in college, like Ashley called him and was like, hey, like, I don't know if he quit a job or what, and he had like $4 in his bank account, and you were like, Tyler, you might need to figure that out. And he was like, Mom, I'm living by faith.
He did.
He was like, I've got it.
And I was like,
He was like, God will take care of me.
And I was like, you have like $7 in your account.
And he was like, it's fine. I'm living by faith.
Yeah.
Or like stories like, you could say anything about somebody and he would be like, that's great. They're so smart. Like
he could be failing a class
Yeah.
and he's like, it's fine. It's great.
It's going to
work out.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh
yes.
my word.
And that's how Parker is, but it's unrealistically positive. Now, I'm all about living by faith, but sometimes God blesses the work of your hand.
Yes, exactly.
And you can't just like not do things to like make that happen. The other thing is Tyler is such a lot of creatives are 7s, right?
Yeah.
And so like, Tyler's been creative forever. Like when he was younger, he wore pink pants to school because they were like purple. They weren't pink.
Justin
purple.
Bieber.
Purple pants. And pitiful, but people made fun of him about it. But like that was his creative. He is so masculine. So it has nothing to do with that. It's just his creative Enneagram 7 coming out.
Yeah. For sure.
You know?
He definitely
Did y'all say y'all pegged him as being a 4 at one point?
We thought he was a 4. And what is it? What does the 4 say? I always forget like the official. I could start describing them, but
yeah. So the 4 is the individualist.
Yeah, the individualist. Yes. So we thought that was Tyler because he was pretty confident in his, and still is, in his fashion choices and things like that. But really, I think it was his creativity comes out that way. Yeah. And when we learned that he was a 7, I talked about this on the Enneagram episode, but like honestly, it helped me so much parenting him and just our relationship and understanding him. And I'm so thankful because I just know that that's how God created him and what he does now and who he is. And even him marrying Sammy, like I'm in awe of just their combined creativity, you know, and that he thinks differently than me, but it's so cool how he thinks, you know, and I'll watch him, like he can lead a room and worship and he's so good at it, you know.
He's
and
also not bothered by much, like things don't frazzle Tyler, which makes him very gifted in the music side of things.
It's true. And so it's I think that, you know, sometimes we try to fit our kids. We talked about this in the calling episode, like in this perfect box of like who they're supposed to be as a firstborn maybe, or in your community or at school. And, you know, sometimes your kid, God just didn't make your kid that way. Yeah. You know? And so, but, and as we've grown in that, I'm so thankful that he did it and that God made him just the way that he is. And just seeing how that's played out over the last 25 years, I just think it's really just really awesome.
It is. And it's like literally his career.
Yes.
And who he married.
Yes.
If Tyler was ever trying to be somebody different, it wouldn't have worked. Yes. You know? And it's like literally it was like his path moving forward. So
that's right.
So yeah, I just think that like for me, like 7s are a little more obvious just because of like this side. And also raising 7s can absolutely make you lose your mind.
Well, yes, that's true too. Yes.
Because there's like a side of them that like, literally you're like, these are the best kids. Like they're amazing.
I mean, we had no problems with Tyler or Parker as far as like, I would be like, hey Ty, can you go clean your room? Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. I got it. Next thing I hear is a guitar playing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And this happened all the time. Multiple times. You know what I mean? And so,
and
but
very,
they're
like,
so like
sweet and like very good about like responding in the nicest, kindest way. I was actually just telling our friend today at lunch that like Parker, we could have a sit down with him, talk to him. He's like, yes, ma'am, you're so right. Because Parker really is compassionate. And then I'm like, you need it, like, you know, you should probably try to change this, whatever it is. Get more organized. Right. Okay, let's use that example. Get more organized. Yes, ma'am, you're so right. And I started to, his senior year of high school, towards the end of it, I started going, yes, thank you for that response, but you're not going to change, are you? And he go, and he just starts laughing because he does have this sweetest response and like the best of intentions, but like 7s are just, they're all about what the next fun thing is.
They love to
have fun. You know, changing themselves is not really that much fun.
I have bought Tyler probably 10 planners over the years. And one time I'm like, Ashley, stop buying them. Like, this isn't ever going to be him. So just stop buying them. And I was trying to help him, but that's not how he thinks. You know what I mean?
It's just different. Yeah. It's just very different. And I was listening to a podcast the other day about 7s, 8s, and 9s. And one thing they said about 7s is like, they don't like to be told what to do. They don't like the government or their institutions to tell them.
Yeah.
And I think
they're a little rebellious.
Maybe because
in that way.
Maybe because I think that they just are always looking at what's fun. Yeah. So like when an institution says you have to sit in this seat,
you're trying to like, you're like a dream crusher.
Yes.
Like you're trying to crush their dreams.
And they said that they never live in the now because their mind is always reeling because the not now is not fun. The next thing is not fun. The next thing is amazing.
Right.
So their brain is not even living in the next thing. It's living in the third thing down. Like it's like constantly reeling. I think a lot of 7s have ADHD or ADD because their brains just don't stop. Yeah. But they are so fun to be around.
Yes.
And I do feel like Parker, so many people love to be around him because they say he's the life of a party and like they just want him around and he's so fun. And, you know, and Parker doesn't, you know, partake in drinking. Yeah. And so it's not like he's fun for that reason. He's just fun.
His personality.
You know, I think a lot of 7s are like that though.
That's why they're called the enthusiasts.
That's right.
I think
they're just fun to be around. But they also can make you want to lose your mind because Parker had a hard time going to class in high school. and probably college for right now. And that makes me want to beat my head against the wall because I'm like, Parker, you are so good in so many areas and I love it. But this side of you makes me want to lose my freaking mind. Just go to class.
Yeah. But I think too, just with like understanding it doesn't mean that you, with any Enneagram number or parenting, it's just like, you understand it and then you try to give them tools to get better because they can get better at those things. It doesn't mean they can't go to class. It doesn't mean they can't plan or be organized. And I'll say just from, because Tyler's 25 now, just his maturity, just maturing has helped so much. You know what I mean? So,
and you're like, you have to have a job one day. So you can't just like not, or a career. You can't just not show up because it might not be fun that day, you know? So, also a lot of 7s are very passionate and committed to what they're doing if they love it.
Yes. So Tyler, I should have picked up on that a long time ago because he was obsessed with like what he was, the one thing he loved and was obsessed with. And that's how he's been forever. But he's going to learn everything about it, you know, and be all in it. But then everything else is going to go by the wayside.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
So,
So, and sometimes that's so good because they're normally very good at that one thing. But then the other things that they should be doing.
Yes.
Like I say this to Parker all the time. You can have fun and be responsible at the same time.
Yeah. Yes.
You know,
that's
like
absolutely
you can
true.
have fun and do also the responsible thing.
Yes.
And I think 7s sometimes struggle with that concept because it's like if what they're doing to be responsible isn't fun, they don't really want to do it.
Yeah. Yes. Anyways,
I do feel like Enneagram 7's pretty obvious to me. I don't know why.
Yeah. I feel like I think I said this too. Like we work with a lot of 7s as well at church and that kind of thing. And they're great.
They're great.
Yeah.
And they also are creatives, and you know, creatives are great and unique and also do some things that you're like, just like every Enneagram number. So, anyways, I'm trying to think of anything else. Well, 1s probably stick out pretty well too.
Yeah. Well, and we have 4 9s right now. Derek, myself, Lawson, Anne Marie, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We need 9s. 9s are needed. 9s are needed. So 9s can be people pleasers. They're the peacemaker, easygoing and agreeable. They seek harmony, comfort, and inner peace while avoiding conflict. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I could have pegged Anne Marie to be a 9 forever ago.
Yeah.
She has always been so, for the most part, so easy. You know,
they go along to get along a lot of times. I think in a family dynamic, you do need those like 9s and 2s. And 5s and the kind of easier going personalities along with your bigger personalities. I mean, it's just how things are done. It's just how they're, you know, and it's what makes it work, honestly, you know, so.
Or you're the only 9 in your family.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. That's crazy. Thank God you're the adult.
Yes.
Yeah. Anne-Marie, my thing with Anne-Marie is she is so laid back, so fun, but I do have to work on her because I really, really want to teach her that being a people pleaser is not really the best thing ever.
Yeah, 9s definitely have a tendency to do that.
And 9s can fall into that. And so I'm just constantly like, hey, like, you can't do everything to please people. Or when you get married, like, you're like, she would rather probably her husband make decisions. I guarantee you when she gets married.
Yeah.
Because she just doesn't want, and I'm like, you have to be able to make decisions on your own. Like, I'm really passionate about teaching your kids to learn how to be confident in their own decisions and making their own decisions, just because I've seen people who their kids can't make decisions as adults because they freeze, you know? And I think that starts at a young age.
Yeah.
And so I do feel like Enneagram 9s can sometimes be like that. Like you've even said, like, you used to hate, maybe still hate, calling insurance companies.
I do all that stuff now, but I used to hate it.
You would avoid it.
Yes.
Like you hated it, which I don't like it either. Let's be real. Who does?
Yeah.
But for sure.
I would always want Jeremy to do it.
Enneagram 9s. You know what? Let's talk about that.
No,
I don't even know if they should be the ones
This
to call.
is what Enneagram 9s do. When the people come to the door soliciting, selling things, they let them in. Okay. I know that, like, so many times Jeremy's like, we are not buying anything. We aren't. Like, just get in. Like, we're not doing it. And I knew that, and I never was going to. But I let them do their whole spiel. I can't stop them. I'm just like, oh my God.
This is why we bought so many Cutco knives.
Yes. Oh yes.
Because of Derek.
Like Lindsay makes fun of me because I used to, you know, get like do hospitality at our church before, and I would get donuts and stuff. And Lindsay's like, Ashley, you cannot let the kids eat as many donuts as they want. And I'm just like, it's fine. Get
No.
You
didn't say it's fine. We would have a conversation. You would say, yes, you are right. The kids are taking all the donuts. Yes, no kids. And I would stand there, and a kid would come up and be like, can I have a donut? And I'm about to say no, and Ashley's like, sure. I'm like, Ashley, I'm like, where did the conversation go? What?
Yes.
Like, this is unbelievable.
And Derek's the same way.
Derek is totally the same way.
Yeah.
That's why I want his grandfather name to be D-Money, because I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh, yeah.
His grandkids will have him wrapped around.
That's right.
He will give them
They
everything.
will get everything
and
they
D-Money
want.
is a perfect fit for him, because
Yes.
if the guy has the money, he going to do it,
Yes.
because that's just going to be him.
Yes. Like, you should never ask a 9. Like, I remember that Sam led this thing called LT Collective, and he was like, Mom, okay, on this night, we have a lot of kids coming. Like, I need you to guard the door. Like, do not let people in.
Bad idea.
Do not let people in. Don't let students in. I was terrible. I let like 6 students in because they just would say like, oh no, I'm supposed to be in there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then Sam got so mad at me because he's like, Mom, I told you not to let anybody in
You're
here.
the worst.
And then I'm like, this is your fault, because you should have known I wouldn't be very good at this.
That's why the Enneagram is good, because
Yeah.
you're like, who do I need to guard the door? Yes. No.
Exactly.
Not that you take all the 9s out.
Yes.
They cannot guard the
Yes.
doors. But who do I want?
Yes.
In good, healthy conversations
Yeah.
and like certain things. You're like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
I need help planning a shower, or I need help, whatever. We're going to call on the 2s. Okay.
Yeah. For
Kimberly,
sure.
our sister-in-law is a 2. And when my mom passed away, her 2 was at full force.
It was unbelievable.
And it was absolutely unbelievable. Like, just how much help and support and just all that she did, and like just filled in so many gaps that like we probably couldn't even like see were there. And you just saw it,
She was there.
not that you don't see it. Normally you do, because she is like volunteer of all volunteers. She's amazing. But we really saw it in that time.
We did. She was at mom's. I mean, it wasn't even her mom. It was her mother-in-law, and she was there every day.
Yeah.
And to the point that mom would ask Kimberly to do stuff and not us.
No,
Rude.
I like
Rude.
remember.
Just
Be like,
kidding.
Mom, do you want anything? She's like on the couch laying down, almost asleep. She was sick. I'm like, do you want anything? Do you want me to get you anything? She's like, no, I'm good. And then she'd be like, Kimberly.
5 minutes later.
No, not even 5 minutes later. Kimberly. And Kimberly would come over and she'd be like, can you get me some yogurt? And I'm like, what? I just asked you if you needed anything.
So
she knew
true.
Kimberly was going to do it, and Kimberly's going to do it the right way.
And
probably.
Kimberly loves it, and mom
Yes.
probably knew that, and like knew that Kimberly would get anything for her.
Yeah.
And Kimberly did.
Yeah.
The 2s are the people you want around.
Yeah.
Like,
Blake is the same way. So my son Blake is a 2. He's the most he's so intuitive with people. Like, he just really understands people. He can fill a room. He can go in, and he definitely he loves people.
Yeah.
And I think God put that in him. But just recently we had a situation where he signed to somebody's to bail out of jail.
No, he did not.
Yes,
No, he
did.
didn't.
One of his friends in college.
no, we did not.
And I was so mad. I was so mad at him. He's like, you never told me that. I'm like, why would I have to tell you this? Why would I have to tell you this? I was so...
I've never heard that story.
Yeah, because it just happened not very long ago. And he was like, I had to help my buddy out. I'm like, no, you didn't. I'm like, and then I'm telling him all the things that could happen if this person doesn't make bail or whatever. Thank goodness that all worked out. But I was like, Blake, but I'm telling you, he's that kind of person.
Oh my gosh.
Like, he's going to be there.
That is hilarious.
To help. You know
he
what I
will.
mean? Like, no.
He's such a hard worker.
Yes.
So, and that's another thing I do. The Enneagrams too will work their
they work
tails
so
off.
hard. Yeah.
And they get a lot of satisfaction from it too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not for selfish reasons at all, but it does fill their cup
Yeah,
up.
their tank.
Like,
Yeah.
it just is like what they love to do.
But I was like so mad at him, so mad. And then like when something like that happens, then you text your whole group family, all of our other boys and kids, and like, just so y'all know, if we never covered this before, you do not actually sign anything for anyone else.
That's like, you might as well be the person who signs like just, like somebody needs like a co-signer for a lease or mortgage, a loan,
Yes.
and you're like, oh sure, let me sign
That's
it.
exactly what it is.
I'm like, no.
That's exactly what it is. So literally we like backtracked and went and had to have this like family meeting of a lesson about this.
about bailing people from jail.
And I'm like, who knew I had to cover that?
Oh my. Yes. But you know what? That is actually very valid, because when you send your kids off to college, I mean, they don't think about, like, they just think that's just being a good friend.
And he honestly hadn't thought, when I went through all the scenarios that could happen by doing that, he was like, I was just trying to help my friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it is true, because college, like, all kinds of crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
It's like people are like, can I borrow your
car?
And
by the way, it wasn't like his friend did. His friend, well, I don't know.
You know what? We might not just tell that story.
But it was something like he wouldn't get out of someone's parking spot, and they got in a fight. Him and this other guy. Not a fist fight.
Okay.
But so they called the police and all this stuff. Anyway, I'm sure there might be more there to that story.
I mean, I don't think it's common to arrest somebody, because
that's what I'm saying. And that's what I told Blake, because Blake was not there.
It took him off.
Blake was not there. And I was like, Blake, that sounds like there's more to the story.
This is fishy. They don't. Police don't arrest people just because they won't leave a parking. There has to be a reason why.
So twos are amazing. They're so helpful. They're awesome.
So pretty much, if you need to be bailed out of anything, find out who your Enneagram 2 friends are.
Yes. You want to, for sure. Anyway. So.
They will show up.
Yeah.
But Sam, I feel like you've always been able to tell is a 3 for the most part.
Yes.
He's always been, like, to me, 3s are leaders.
Yeah, very driven.
They're very driven, very motivated. And I feel like Sam has always been that way.
They really care about their image. They want to be number one at everything.
Yeah.
You know,
which, I mean,
it's just not a bad thing at all.
Again, you just have to steer it in the right direction.
Right.
We've talked about Sam. I will never forget, I've probably told this story, that one of Sam's very close friends in high school, he also went to elementary school with him. And the mom told me, I think it was when Sam preached. And she came and listened to him and was blown away. And she was like, I'm just going to be honest. She was like, when they were in elementary school together, I told my son to stay away from him.
Exactly.
Because he is not a good leader.
Yes.
He is leading you in a bad direction.
Maybe because he played monkey in the middle with his teacher at one time. Who does that?
I don't know if she said he's a bad leader. She just said he was leading her son into a bad direction.
Yeah. No, he's always been a leader. It's just we always tell him you got to lead in the right direction.
She was so glad that did not pan out, and that Sam was the person he is.
Me too. You know what? Lots of prayers.
It could have gone any direction. And it kind of veered off for a little bit, but then he veered. Thank God.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, he always, listen, that's why we got to be very much so praying parents.
Yeah.
Because things do veer. Yeah. It just doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter. We have been praying for our kids before they were born.
Yeah.
And there are times where we have to have the Holy Spirit step in. And I just read this in Power Praying Parent. I've been meaning to post it because I took a picture of it and I love it. And she just told this story about her daughter when she was younger, just the Holy Spirit revealing to them that just something was going on.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a big deal. But the point is that she said, I'm so glad that the Holy Spirit reveals things before they get too far gone, before they get bad. And it's our job as parents to recognize when the Holy Spirit's speaking and to ask the Lord, what do you want us to do to steer
and
this
I was
in the
gonna
right
say
direction?
that. I was like, like Sam was never any surprise. Like, so of course we're praying about that stuff with him because he has a strong personality, but also like I was thinking when we were talking about Enneagram 9s, 5s, maybe even 7 sometimes, like because they're easier in a lot of ways, just personality and how they're made, that be careful not to just not pay as much attention.
Yeah.
Because they have stuff going on too.
Oh yeah, they do.
But because they are very easy and maybe compliant, you can have a tendency not to pay as much attention.
I'm going to tell you right now with Parker, and I will say this, and Parker laughs about it because he knows, but we learned our lesson with it. Honestly, Parker's our first. And so we're learning. We're even learning in college. We're trying to figure some things out. And thank goodness for the Lord. But like, because of things that we should have pushed Parker, because they are so easier and they are for the most part good kids. Like, I think we were honestly too easy on Parker.
Yeah.
Where we should have been a lot stricter.
Sharon is a 2 also. Sorry.
Yeah. Sharon's a 2 also.
Yeah.
You're right. But we should have been stricter on Parker at an earlier age. And there are some things even now that I think maybe we wouldn't, like Parker would maybe have a better handle of if we would have been stricter. And I have said it here, we messed up on that. Yeah. Like I wish, and Parker's great, but I wish that we would, but we learned our lesson because we changed how we did it with Amory. Even though Amory's on a 7, 9s and 7 can be kind of similar in some tendencies.
Well, they're just, again, I think like the tendencies are to be just a little bit more compliant, a little bit easier.
More laid back.
Yeah. They're not going to see those like big, bold 8s or 3 personalities as much.
Yeah. And so we have really tried to change how we handled that and like handled, school and stuff like that. And it's been great. And I'm so grateful for the Lord. But you're right. I think it's easy. I think what happened with us was Parker was such a good kid and he was so good at responding to us and compliant that it was like, well, I mean, come on. Like, do we really need to like push him so hard or not even push him, but discipline him in this area, which we should have. Yeah. I look back now and we should have, but we didn't.
Yes.
And so it's easy to overlook either their emotions and accomplishments, but it's also easy to overlook if you need to discipline them.
Yes, absolutely.
For me, it was,
for sure.
Because you're like, do I pick this battle? Do I not? Is it really that big of a deal? So anyways, I definitely think that is a very good point. Yeah. But
because like one thing we always are saying is like, we talked about awareness in the Enneagram episode, and this is all just about like awareness in your parenting, awareness in your kid, awareness in yourself, in your, in your marriage, all those kind of things. And it's only going to help the dynamic.
For sure. It helps you know how to parent. It helps you know how to understand, really kind of like figure out how they tick.
Yeah.
And so it's the Enneagram is such a good tool. I mean, I literally was looking at just in my Spotify, typed out Enneagram, whatever.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it's unbelievable how much information is out there about the Enneagram, 8 being married to a 9 or whatever that looks like. There's so much like content out there. Yeah. Again, it's not the Bible. So let's be clear. The Bible comes first. We also make sure what we're reading lines up with the Word of God. You just got to be real careful with all those things. But, and you can get a biblical point of view. Yeah. I actually listened to Ian Crone. Is that his name?
Yeah.
But he said some interesting things the other day. And Derek said he does kind of veer off sometimes on some Christian stuff versus not.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all knew that. But I said, I was like, I don't really totally agree with that. But still really good information on just understanding how someone
even practical things like planning a vacation. You know what I mean? Like your certain Enneagram numbers are probably going to step in and plan a vacation where other ones might sit back and relax, during that time or whatever. And you're just learning all of those things.
Or
all the time.
You learn that, hey, like, that person's this Enneagram number and I know I can be a strong personality. They're a strong personality. So now that I'm mature enough and can recognize that, I might need to back off.
Right.
Like maybe I need to back off. Like you got to have to learn like how to handle all of those types of personalities. Like we talked about this when we used to vacation when Mom was alive. Mom is, we said it's Enneagram 1, which is like the reformer, the perfectionist. She wants everything right. I don't care. It doesn't bother me to leave dishes in the sink and wash them the next morning. Derek and I, we knew that Mom wanted them washed, and out of respect for her and honor for her, we would wash the dishes the night before, or she likes the sand. Our whole family was so good we didn't cater to Mom, and Mom never demanded that of us, but we all were respectful of Mom and Dad. Yes. And we knew this is what she likes. It was important to her. So we're all going to do that. Yeah. None of us would bucket and be like, we're not doing that because that's just not who I am. Yes. It was like, no, that's important to her.
Well, and what's ultimately important is you're together for a week and a half vacation. And let's have a good time.
That's right.
If we are, then let's all work together.
And we're adults and we should be mature enough to be able to handle working together.
Yeah. Again, I think it's good for your kids to see that. In a situation where not everyone has the same personalities, but hey, we're gonna be easy. We're gonna do what we can to make this really fun. Yes. And like also it kind of takes away that like selfishness that we all have in us. Does not matter, even if you're two. Everybody has selfishness in them.
Even if you're two.
Everybody has selfishness in them.
Obviously, twos are the least selfish.
Yeah, they are. But everyone has it in them, and it kind of puts it at bay a little bit. Yeah. And is like, okay, how can I like serve other people and make this unified, I guess. Yeah. Like unity is a big deal for me in a family, and I know that's probably because I'm a non-peacemaker, but I pray for it a lot in our family. I pray for it a lot as we add people in our family.
Mm-hmm. I do think it's a big deal.
And I feel like it's what God wants.
Yeah.
And that it's just an important value that we're like unified, not uniform. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about everybody's exactly the same, because that would be no fun.
And you're not talking like no one can give opinions.
No,
or anything like
oh my
that,
gosh, but that's not what, no, that's uniformity.
Yes.
Unity is different.
It's just where we all choose to get along. We work around each other's personalities.
We want what's good for each other. We want what's best for one another. Yeah. And that's just like a big deal to me, you know? Yeah. And so I think being aware of different people's personalities, love languages, who they are, and again, just being aware of it. It's not that you have to like accommodate to every single thing, but being aware of it is honestly like God. I mean, I do think it's being like Jesus, you know, sure. Like in a way, and maybe that's a stretch like for me to say that, but yeah, in some ways it's just serving the people around you. Yeah.
And it's just making your other kids aware of, like, I think it's very okay to say, like, if one of your kids is frustrated with the other one and say, hey, they're a, you know, a 9 on Enneagram. Yeah. Like, I know that sounds like, it's not an excuse, but it just gives you an idea of why. I just was interrupting a conversation, an argument between Abby Kate and Anne-Marie. So my girls have a Jack and Jill bathroom, and there's conflict. Anne-Marie and Abby Kate butt heads way more. Ava Mae's like the peacemaker between them, essentially. And maybe Ava Mae could be a 9. I don't know. Anyways, but I was just thinking about that. Yeah. But she is. And Anne-Marie constantly locks the door and leaves it locked on accident. Abby Kate, because I'm pretty positive she's an 8 after reading that. She's so about justice. She gets so mad that Anne-Marie does that. So instead of choosing the right thing, she locks the door back to Anne-Marie. And she tells me, well, I'm not going to choose to unlock the door because she does it to me. And what I had to explain is, and this is true, I didn't talk about the Enneagram, but I'm like, but y'all's intentions and motives are 2 different places. Right. Anne-Marie's is because she's an Enneagram 9 and truly she's not thinking about it. Now, should she think about it? Yes, but she's not. Yeah. That doesn't mean I won't say something to her. Right. I will, but she doesn't think about it. You know not to lock the door, and you're doing it to get back.
Her intention, Anne-Marie's intention is not like, I'm going to lock my sister out.
That's right.
It's just,
no, it's because she locked the door to go to the bathroom and forgot. She locks their door to go to the bathroom.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
And then Abby Kate locks her door to go to the bathroom and then purposely doesn't unlock it to get back at her. Mm-hmm. And to me, that is personalities. Yes. And it's like, well, Abby Kate, but you're actually the one in the wrong simply because the motive is different. Yeah. Yeah. Does that make sense?
And I love to see it when your kids start to talk like that. Like my boys are a little bit older, and just recently there was a situation between 2 brothers, and I heard the other brother say, well, I think that they just take it this way because they're this personality. Or I think that they respond to this better than that. I don't remember exactly even what it was, but I was like, yes, thank you. That's right. That's what I'm trying to like get to the point.
You just want them to think it on their own eventually, you know, and you give some grace. Yes. Doesn't mean that people can excuses to behave a certain way. It just helps you understand them a little bit more. But Derek has always been, as long as I've known him, the first time I met Derek, I'll never forget it. And the guy who introduced me said, this is the most laid back guy you'll ever meet in your life. And I still to this day am like Enneagram 9. Yeah. All over him, you know, like it is so him. Like everybody at Square Cow loved to call Derek if something happened because they knew Derek would be, his reaction would be the same if an accident happened, or if it would be the same if nothing happened, you know, because Derek is just more laid back about stuff like that. Yeah. And Sharon, our dad's wife, is a 2. Yeah. Which we didn't cover that, but she is a huge helper.
Yes. And I was thinking about that. I was like, you know, I feel like God just knew, like when my mom passed away and my dad got remarried, like having a 2 join into the family in that situation, I can't imagine another number.
You're right.
Like, I'm just saying, like, it has really made it, she has made it so much easier, and she's been easy, and she's been helpful, and
she's been sensitive to things,
and she's very helpful with even with my dad, you know, like he's 10 years older than her. And I think for us, like I think when mom died, we kind of were like, you know, you think like I'm going to help my dad or whatever. Like, of course he is fine. He is like healthy and everything. That's not what I'm saying. But like there is something about him being married to Sharon that I'm like, yeah, Sharon's got dad. Like she knows what to do. Yeah. You know, and even more so because of her personality is paying attention and all that kind of stuff, you know? Yeah. My dad might listen to this and be like, what are you even talking about? But
it's true. No, I think Sharon has made the transition much easier than it could have been. Mm-hmm. And, And no, I think it would have been super weird if Dad would have married a Enneagram 1 or somebody like Mom's personality.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just would have felt weird.
Yeah.
And, but I do think it's taken Dad some getting used to being married to somebody like Sharon, because Mom was just so, again, no nonsense really, and some certain things, not that Sharon isn't, but Sharon's love language, she loves to do. Like, she loves to buy things for people. She loves to do and to make it special. And Mom did too, but it was just a little bit of a different approach. And I think Dad is having to, like, you know.
Well, can you imagine? I mean, like, I can't imagine, like, you're married to someone for 48 years or however long, and you get remarried, and this happens all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a different, obviously a different person, but a different personality maybe, you know, and just like those kind of dynamics.
And it's just funny because, like, Dad is, like, very, like, never wants anyone to feel taken advantage of.
Yes.
And so I think he'll tell Sharon, you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to do that for our kids, like my kids. He says my kids, or if the kids come over, you don't have to put a whole, Sharon will, like, cover the island with appetizers.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't have to do that. And she's like, but you don't understand. I love doing this. Right. Like, it's no one's taking advantage of me. No one's asking me to do it. Like, it's like part of who I am.
Now, one time we did come over and Sharon wasn't there and Dad didn't do any of that. We were a little disappointed.
Oh, I was like, where is the appetizer?
Yes. He had an uncut watermelon on the counter.
What? Did he think we were going to cut it for an appetizer? I was like, and no lights were on.
Oh, no.
And we had to, like, go sit out by the pool and walk through the dungeon of darkness. And I was like, wow. My girls literally will be, they love Papa. But if Sharon is out of town, they'll be like, is Miss Sharon here?
Yeah.
Because if Sharon's not there, Dad, actually, we've joked with Dad so much now that when Sharon has not been there, Dad will make sure that he has like a little bit more.
He does.
A little bit more out, because, like, everybody's like, well, when Sharon's not here. Talking about her Enneagram 2, her dad passed away but was sick for like 3 months, and she was in full on helper mode, you know? And so she was in Birmingham for a while, because that's when the Enneagram 2 shines.
Yes.
Truly, you know? And we could just discuss this really quick before we're done.
Yeah.
Okay. So when do you, I mean, this is just an idea.
Yeah.
So when do you think, do we already talk about this? When does Enneagram 1 shine? Like, what do you feel like is one of their best?
I just think any environment they walk into, they can make better. So, like, if you have an Enneagram 1, like, some of my friends that are on the events team at church,
that's what I was about to say, events.
And they make everything better.
Yes, I was about to say events.
And my mom was the same way, and I don't know how to explain it, because it was beyond hospitality or beyond decorating a house. It was just like what she saw.
And it's like how they're wired.
Yes.
Their brains just know how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, Enneagram 2, we would say, is like in
any situation where you need help.
True help. Like,
you see them you see them shine when something tragic happens.
Yeah.
When something really needs to get beyond a finish line. Yeah. You know, like,
or
they have a lot of tenacity.
Yes.
Yeah. And you see them shine, you know.
I think sometimes, like, because our family, we're not good about asking for help.
Yes.
And so I think that Enneagram 2s are, like, perfect in those situations.
Well,
like,
they just step in and do it.
They just
help.
Yeah. You know you can call them, and there's no strings attached. There's nothing. They're like, okay, yep, absolutely, I'll get it done. Enneagram 3s.
I mean, they're efficient. What does it say? They're achievers. So, like, I see them shine in groups of people, and on the stage, leading something.
Yeah.
You know, just a lot of them have charismatic personalities, and people are drawn to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Enneagram 4.
Enneagram 4s.
We don't know any.
So Enneagram 4 is like, I don't know a lot of Enneagram 4s.
Do you know any?
I do know a few, yes, you know, and they're deep feelers. What does it say on there? Okay, they're individualists.
I'm laughing because we really don't know very many I say adults because I don't know Enneagram 4s. Yeah. So they're individualists, sensitive and expressive. They seek identity, authenticity, deep meaning in their emotions.
Yeah. I mean, I think they shine because they see things that other people don't see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that I think that they probably connect.
I bet you they're really good friends.
That's what I was going to say. They're probably such good friends, connect in a way, see things beyond the surface that's going on with people.
They probably really care deeply for people really well.
Yeah.
The type 5, the investigator, they're good. Listen, they're good if you ever need some information. If you want a good gossip sesh, not really, but like truly, like my dad, like we'll have to like.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
They're so steady.
They are.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
They shine in just being that steady person in your life. And like, what's the word I'm trying to think of?
They're not going to be much drama either.
A pillar of wisdom.
They are a pillar of wisdom. They are.
I almost said column, but I was like, that's not
they
the word.
are. They're a pillar of wisdom. Yeah. And they're never going to be drama. Like,
no, that's right too.
You can probably tell them things and no one's ever going to find out.
Yeah, very steady people.
Yeah. Okay, Enneagram 6, the loyalist. I mean, come on, that tells you right there.
The greatest of friend probably.
Greatest of friend, but they also can usually have pretty good discernment, right?
Yes.
I think they can see things in the future to try to get you to avoid certain things.
Very good friends.
As long as they don't. Yeah. Type 7, we already talked a lot about the Enneagram 7s.
Life of the party. Yeah. You know, everybody wants
fun to be around them. If you ever want to like do a spontaneous thing, usually they're going to be all in.
Yeah.
And then Enneagram 8.
Enneagram 8 is a challenger.
Yeah.
And they also get things done to me in the same way. Like it might look different than a 3, but they also lead people well. Yeah. And they're justice. I think they shine in justice. Like just really are going to really champion the unjust, the unfair,
I feel like, are they not very truthful? Oh, bold.
They're truth tellers.
So they're the kind of people that you want to call if you want the truth.
They are very direct and sometimes don't know how to couch that directness, like put it in a box with a bow on it. It's almost like too direct sometimes, but it isn't necessarily what they're saying is not true. It actually is a lot of times true. It's just that sometimes it can come across different. For them, that's helpful. It's banter. It's not even like a fight. It's just they're like, no, this is just, I'm just saying the truth.
And I do think I think sometimes people are ready to hear the truth and sometimes they're not. Or I bet you if an Enneagram 4 called an Enneagram 8 for the truth, the Enneagram 4 get their feelings hurt.
Yes.
Because they are deep feelers. Yeah. Enneagram 8 is probably too aggressive.
Right.
And too abrasive on how they told the truth. Even though the Enneagram 8 would probably tell themselves, watch how you say it. Yeah. Watch how you say it. And it still can come off harsh.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then last thing, Enneagram 9. They're just peacemakers. They're going to be they're going to be good in all scenarios where you just need.
They're going to be like your 5s that are pretty steady.
Yes. I agree. We're just good to have around in general. So
see all sides, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But, well, anyways, this was a long episode of hopefully we told some personal stories and some good, different ideas.
As you can tell, we could talk about this like all day long.
Yeah, we could.
And we don't know everything about it, but we talk about it a lot.
No, we don't.
I think you have confession of the week.
My confession of the week is my boys' Easter basket, which right now is hardly nothing.
I told Jeremy that too. I said, this is what the boys have. And they're flying home, so they can't fly home with a lot. My kids don't eat a lot of candy anymore. They eat some, but like literally there's one bigger gift in there and that's like the thing they're getting. But I was like, this is sad. This is a sad state of affairs.
Are you hiding the Easter baskets?
100%.
Yes.
And I know they're 22 and 18 and 15, but I absolutely am.
So are we.
Yes.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoy this and have a great week. And we'll talk to you next week.